Hey everybody, this is Candice Adewale of the Loving You Lifestyle, and I am here with another video. And today we're going to be discussing the missing piece on the conversation about hypergamy. Okay, so I really need to say this because this topic of hypergamy is starting to get out of control on so many of these online platforms. And while I feel it is a wonderful thing for women, especially women in certain communities and circles, to start having higher standards and requirements for men in regards to financial provision, I am seeing an imbalance in the conversations being had in regards to hypergamy and what it actually looks like in real life. And also, I see a little bit of shaming going on um, in regards to women who don't desire to marry into extreme wealth. And what I see is many women now are leaning towards living a very lavish lifestyle that they see on Instagram, that lifestyle of the rich and famous. And they're having their fantasies of driving their drop tops with their dog Fifi or being taken on shopping sprees at Gucci or flown to Italy just because they wanted pizza. And I also noticed that everybody now is talking about wanting to be a sugar baby. Everybody wants to secure the bag. Everybody's doing what they think they need to do in order to get a man that has some money. It's a really interesting shift that I see occurring these days. And ironically, I see a growing number of men who are taking the red pill, who are backing away from marriage, and who um, understand that women want to be hypergamous. So, anyways, what is hypergamy, anyways? Before we kind of jump into that, I want to say this: it is a woman's genetic predisposition to select the best provider that she can for herself and her offspring. This is very natural for a woman to want a man with resources, financial resources, and otherwise a nice network to be a part of. And just like every other female in the animal kingdom, that means being selective and choosing the right male to mate and relate with. And this usually means mating with the man who makes it clear that he has the best to offer financially. Okay? So, hypergamy, by definition, is the practice of marrying in order to improve one's economic and social status, period. Okay? So, if you are a woman who has bought into the ideology of going 50-50 or building a man up when he has nothing to truly offer you financially, please understand that you are going against your genetic hardwiring, and I can assure you that this is due to your social programming. So, backing up about hypergamy, what does this mean? This means that if you are lower class or working class poor, you live in the projects or a similar living situation, and you marry middle class, you are practicing hypergamy. If you are middle class, working class, and you marry upper middle class or upper wealthy class, you are practicing hypergamy. And if you are a woman that is currently upper middle class and you marry upper class slash wealthy class, you guessed it, you are practicing hypergamy. You do not necessarily have to marry a man who makes six or seven figures to be practicing hypergamy. It truly begins on your starting point. And this is where I feel the conversation has kind of gone left field when we talk about hypergamy because everybody's talking about living a lavish lifestyle and being with a man that makes six or seven figures. And in real life, that is not necessarily how hypergamy works, although it can work like that. So let's now talk about isogamy because this is not being discussed at all in the conversation of hypergamy. Hypergamy. Isogamy is the practice of marrying within your economic and social circle. And I do not recommend women practicing isogamy unless you are already upper middle class. If, and this is a key word, if you desire to be a well kept wife. You can be a well kept wife with a man who is upper middle class. And I recommend that you Google what is the starting income for upper middle class? I guarantee you're going to be surprised at that. Okay, so upper middle class. You can still be a stay at home mom if you marry middle class, but you would have to finesse the situation a bit differently. And that does not mean participating in Barber the Builder activities. Upper middle class would be your regular successful guys. And I want to say there's no shame in being with a guy who's regular and successful. Actually, I think that's normal and that should be the goal. Now, if you wish to live a lifestyle of a certain amount of luxury, then you are going to have to marry hypergamously with a man who makes seven figures. There's absolutely no way around this. Women who are working middle class and marry isogamously or lower will be doing the whole struggle love thing, as well as those who are already upper middle class or upper class and decide to marry a man who has a lower economic or social status than they do. Now, wealthy women. Women who are already wealthy, whether they worked themselves there or were born into wealth, usually practice isogamy, not hypergamy, unless they marry a man who's super, super rich, like marry a sultan or take Meghan Markle, for example. She married a prince. She was already wealthy, however. She already had money. And in all honesty, a woman that has a net worth of 5 million marrying a man who has a net worth of 3 million are still in the same wealthy social class of millionaires. So it's still technically isogamy. She isn't going to be struggling, quote unquote. She will be a well kept wife. As I mentioned in the beginning, I see a whole lot of shaming going on in some of these groups and certain circles online, as mostly because there is a lack of understanding on what hypergamy really is and what it really looks like. And honestly, it has gotten on my last nerves. In the end, every woman has to do what feels comfortable to her. And honestly, women will usually accept a man at the level of her self esteem. And this is the honest for God truth. And some women just need a little bit of help in that area. My personal feelings. I do feel that most women should aim for upper middle class and include those men in your dating pool. Yes, you're going to have to look nice. Yes, you're going to have to lose weight. I know that's controversial, but it's the truth. And you're going to have to look as good as you can. For you first, of course. But let's face it, men who are upper middle class or upper class have so many options for women. So women need to be realistic about this. So do the hard work, the outside work and the inside work. Don't take your broken girl victimhood mentality into your relationships, especially if you are a woman, including men of all races in your dating pool. Just please don't do that. Just don't. Well, listen, I hope this gives everyone a clear idea of what hypergamy really is and what it really looks like. I want you guys to comment on this video below with your feelings and any questions on the subject of hypergamy or anything I had to say. And I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, as well as follow me on Instagram. And I will leave all of that information in the description box. You all take care and stay blissfully feminine. Ciao.